Live every night on the Halos in the Infield Baseball Network.
Think about it. We'll get into everything that we're going to get into as we go along, but I got to rant real quick. But why would you throw out an inexperienced pitcher in a game you're still close in? And I don't care what the record is. You show up for a fucking rivalry game. But he's actually talking to him constantly. That is a sign of a really, really good coach.
It's the ToddFox Post-Game Podcast with your host, ToddFox.
Because the only thing I want to yell is fuck! Well, we don't want to yell fuck. Well, hold on. I think we have an issue right here off the bat. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Now we're live. Okay. So, hello, everybody. It's ToddFox Show coming to you live from the Halos in the Infield post-game show studios here, along with I have a guest on the other side. Want to chime in?
What's up, everybody? Dominic Lorenz from Catella Chronicles here after a huge night for the Halos, and the fun things and the news keeps on rolling. So glad to be alongside Todd here tonight.
Yeah, so as we get started, let me get into our normal shtick, which is 714 tickets, 714 tickets. And it's been extended one more day to call in. I know they're going to be closed tomorrow, Sunday, but if you want to call for your tickets, your last chance to get them for the $55, they raise up to, believe it or not, $80. And that's not just with 714 tickets. They're actually more expensive with the fees and taxes if you go somewhere else. It's because it's that one of a kind, what is it called? The bobblehead with Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout, but you're going to get free tacos, free nachos. You're going to be saving money if you haven't got your tickets for next Saturday's game. So go to Halos and go to 714 tickets, and then go to on the checkout or not the checkout. Call them and tell them you want the Heedy special. But if you want tickets for another game, you go to the Apply Now code and get 10% off. So with that being said, the last three nights were completely, utterly frustrating for the Angels. The last three nights they played, 2 against the Dodgers, and then obviously last night's Buttercup game. But tonight they scored 25 runs, almost set an Angels record as far as a 25-0 annihilation. But 25 runs, we got a lot done tonight. There's a lot to go over. Where do you want to start on this one, Dominique? It's going to be a little bit before we do, it's going to be a little bit different post-game show. I'm not going to go into a huge rant. Obviously, I'm super happy. It's not like the last 3 nights where I've been bitching and moaning. We're going to have some good things to talk about tonight. We're going to get through all the stats and everything, but where do you want to start on this one first, Dominique?
Well, first and foremost, on the tickets for the tailgate, I did it yesterday. It took me a whopping 5 minutes to get it done. You call 714 tickets. Come on out. Still plenty of tickets available. Todd, myself, Fernando, the whole crew's going to be out there. It's a week away. Are we ready for this?
Yes. I'm ready to go. I mean, actually, there's been almost 100 tickets sold. There's only about 50 left, so a lot of people have been calling last minute. So if you haven't done it, I would do it now or Monday morning. I would get that done right away. So
it's going to be great. But I watched the whole game from beginning to end tonight. I was at home, had a nice Saturday night, grilled some steaks, had some beer. It was a good Saturday night. This is what the Angels did within under 3 hours. Franchise record in runs, 25. Franchise record in hits, 28. 2 guys with 5 hit games, Renfroe and Moniak. Moniak's 5-hit game, 4 extra base hits. That's the 12th time an Angels player has done that since Mike Trout in 2018. They were 13 for 24 with runners in scoring position. 13 runs in a single inning tied the franchise record. Most runs allowed in a single inning and in the entire game by the Colorado Rockies in franchise history. 23 runs through 5 innings, most in baseball since 1974. Brandon Drury has a career game, 4 RBIs. Fletcher, welcome back, 5 RBIs, career high in a game. And Griffin Canning, 6 innings. He's now 2-0 with a 2.35 ERA in June. 5 quality starts in his last 6 outings. A bunch to unpack there. And that's without even mentioning the names of Eduardo Escobar, Mike Trout, and not mentioning names like Luis Rengifo and Andrew Velasquez. How about that?
Yeah, that's the thing that I've been screaming about is this lineup sucks with those guys in it. You had a lot of holes, but tonight you had so many guys get right. You had so many guys get a lot of good hits tonight. I mean, look, even though Ward only got 2 hits, but you're thinking, wow, two for 6. He had 3 RBIs and a walk. That's good for him. Shohei Ohtani was 1 for 7 tonight, 2 strikeouts. Lo and behold, our best player was our worst player in the lineup, essentially, as far as a starter. Then you had Trout in there, 3 for 3, including a walk. He had another home run. You had Brandon Drury go 3 for 5. His average, remember when his average was around 220 and people were pissed? It's up to.
I remember when it was 177.
Yes, Brandon Drury's up to 273 right now. 4 more RBIs, including another homer. And this guy named, I don't know if you remember, Dominique, Matt Thaiss. He used to play catcher for us and has not been seen. He was on the back of a milk carton for a couple weeks, but he came through 3 for 6 tonight, including 2 more RBIs. Hunter Renfroe, a guy who's disappeared for a month and a half, he came back with 5 for 5 plate appearances tonight, 4 RBIs. And then you had this new guy, Eduardo Escobar, who some people said that when he heard about the trade and he was on the plane to Anaheim after last night's loss, he requested a flight back to New York. But he still made it to Colorado, got 2 more hits, 4 runs scored. And then this guy, I don't know if you've ever heard of him. I mean, I thought he was a legend, like sort of like a chupacabra. But Moniak, 5 for 5. Who's that guy?
Hey, Mickey, you're so fine, baby. Come on. Who doesn't want that? I got to talk about Moniak for a second. He's got the swagger. He's got the agility. He's got the talent. I know when we traded him last year and we lost Brandon Marsh and he was kind of coming in and he was batting in the 180s, 190s, scraping the 200s. He's transitioning from being the number 1 pick into a new organization. We've seen a whole different Moniak this year. A 337 average and limited playing time, with Taylor Ward and Hunter Renfroe in the outfield. But this kid's got swagger, and I think at this point, I don't think Moniak has to play another game in his career to make that trade last trade deadline for Noah Syndergaard make sense, and it was clearly worth it at the end of the day.
I totally agree, and let me just finish out here the David Fletcher concept. 4 for 6, including a solo blast tonight. We all know he was red hot in the minors. You know that they were trying to keep him down to not pay him, but you had to bring him up. You got Escobar in the trade. It's so funny how this lineup, and many people were saying outside of myself that as soon as Velasquez put his stank on this team, we started losing. We started playing very inconsistent. Other guys, his fungus got through the lineup. And now all of a sudden, since Phil just decides, oh, you know what? Let's play Fletcher, who we just brought up. Let's play Moniak, who's been on the team and I'm ignoring. Let's play Thaiss, who's been ice cold. Thank God these guys can pull it out of their ass and not have to be like, oh, I need 3 games to warm up. Those 3 guys plus Escobar in the lineup, I mean, it just transforms this lineup. It's so much better. And I don't want to see this ship tomorrow because I think the Rockies pitcher's a lefty tomorrow. They better not take out Thaiss and they better not take out Moniak. I am so sick and tired, bro. 5 for 5 night should get you at least a week of playing time, even if you're 0 for in that week. You went 5 for fucking 5. Like I don't want to see him benched.
No, not at all. And I think at the end of the day, this lineup, the way when it came out this afternoon, and I was at the store and I got the alert and I saw everybody in it and Taylor Ward was still leading off. I was like, okay, maybe flip Moniak and Ward and I'll feel better. And then, Colorado, Coors Field helps fix everything and 25 runs in a historic night. I know everybody feels differently about this. I'm not completely out on Taylor Ward being a leadoff guy. Maybe Moniak gets more of a chance out there, but I feel they're interchangeable, and I think I'm okay with it. However, it rides out like games like tonight. Mm-hmm. But if you heard in the broadcast, if you were watching the game, Matt Vasgersian made that comment to Mark Gubicza saying, okay, Angels are up 24 runs or 25 runs at a certain point. What do you do with the lineup for the rest of the night? What do you do tomorrow in a day game? Do you save some players? Trout came out after 4+ innings, and Velasquez played center field. God, I wanted to puke everywhere. But But with Tyler Anderson pitching tomorrow, Gooby made the point. Typically, Chad Wallach catches for Tyler Anderson. So I'm assuming Chad Wallach's probably going to get the start tomorrow. And I feel catchers are always a tough position because pitchers like who they like behind home plate calling themselves, regardless if they're batting well on a hot streak, on a cold streak. So I think the catching situation is going to be, for lack of a better terms, trial by fire. But Theis definitely deserves a chance to play more than he is right now, 100%.
No, I get that what you're talking about with actually, putting Wallach in there. I get the catcher spot, but I don't want to see any nonsense of Velasquez back in there, and I don't want to see any nonsense of Moniak, and I don't want to see Escobar all of a sudden hit the bench after one game, and I don't want to hear this tired bullshit. I do not want to hear any fucking thing about being tired. I don't care if they won.
We are not LeBron James. We do not need load management.
We're not the Clippers. I mean, this is pissing me off. No offense, James, because I know he's a Clipper fan, but there is no room for any kind of load management. And again, here's my thing. Let me ask you this question, Dominic, because this is what's chapped my ass about the load management. If the Angels were in this position of the Texas Rangers or the Tampa Bay Rays, I'm okay with load management if that's what you want to do, if that's what's got you there. But obviously playing your B team has gotten you losses. That's where I'm not okay with them doing it now. Are you with that same mentality or no?
Yeah, I think if the Angels were in first place, things were going better. You could afford to be load management a little bit here and there. For the Angels in general, and maybe thinking about it in a bigger scope, all MLB teams, regardless if you're top or bottom, those Sunday day games and those midweek getaway afternoon games are sometimes those days where you get those different lineups. Mm-hmm. So tomorrow's a day game, and the Angels have a Thursday day game against the White Sox this upcoming week. And with no off days from yesterday all the way until next Thursday, July the 6th, I assume at some point philosophy is going to work out in a way where it could be weird. But now that you add Eduardo Escobar to the mix, David Fletcher's back, and you have a lot of players on this squad now that are multi-purpose. Brandon Drury can play first and second. Hunter Renfroe, clearly he had a fine defensive game at first base. He didn't have to do anything too hard, but I'd rather have that than Kevin Padlo, who, foreshadowing here, breaking news, he was DFA'd tonight in order to make room for Mike Moustakas, a brand new Angel just acquired right after the game, to be on the active roster. Moustakas can play first, second, and third. You're starting to get a lot of these players that can play multi-positions. So if you're going to do this load management system, I would rather you change positions than completely bench them. Because right now our bench is going to be Moustakas, based on the lineup tonight, Moustakas, Velasquez, and Rengifo. Velasquez, shoot him out to Tri-City Dust Devils at high A level, and he can roast in Waco, Washington, or Wesco, Washington, whatever city the Tri-City Dust Devils play. No offense to that. Send Velasquez there. Why the hell is he playing center field tonight? By all means. I don't care if we were at 24-0. And it was like the Chargers were blowing out the Denver Broncos. It should not happen. But load management can work at times, especially when there's no off days. The next 2-week stretch, the Angels don't have an off day for like 12 straight games or something. Do it once in between, maybe twice, I get it. But when you had, for example, last week, the Angels had 2 off days within a 4-day stretch, people should be rested, especially getting no runs against the Dodgers.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like they were exactly trying out there. And, so, I mean, look, I'm with you on that. I like that they added Moustakas, and we'll get more into that. I know you're going to get into some stats, and we're going to do that in a second here. But let me get into our awards real quick. I'm going to do the awards for Stamos first. The John Stamos Award for Best Players on the Team, I'm going to give it to the 4 guys in the bottom of the order that came through, that got called up. Because, again, David Fletcher, I was off on him last year. I did not like how he ended the year. He was pathetic, swinging wildly. and he didn't get it together in spring training. They sent him down. I thought, man, we'd never see this guy again. And look, lo and behold, he was batting .371 in Salt Lake, and he came up here raking. And I know it's against Colorado, but I believe he's the right guy at the right time with all the injuries now to Urshela and bubble wrapped Rendon, and then Mickey Moniak, dude. What more can you say about this guy? I've never seen a guy, get benched and certain guys that should be playing, and when they get benched, it goes to their ego, goes to their habits, and they can't recover. He seems to just give you good at bats no matter what. Even when he's 0 for 3 out there, he's making defensive plays, working a walk, still doing something out there, and I think that's why Moniak needs to play every day. I'm glad Pilates is gone. Escobar, I think I'm going to give it to him as well tonight because, coming off a frustrating stint here with the Mets in 2023, he hit 20 and 69. He wasn't on that level, only played 40 games, comes over here, a 4 home runs, 16 RBIs in 40 games, looking for more playing time. He comes to a team that needs depth, and you know what? Comes out, he's not going to be 2 for 4 every night, but I know he's going to give you good at bats. He's a smart ball player. And then Theis, again, well rested and on the bench for too long, and it didn't affect his play. He still came out and had a big night. So those 4 guys, I'm gonna give them some Stamos. Now let me do the quick the nachos, and we'll get into your stats because I know you got a lot to feed out to everybody tonight. That's what we brought you on.
All the chips, all the cheese, all the refried beans, all the onion and tomato and the guacamole, all the beef and jalapeno and the sour cream, all the nachos.
We're gonna give out 3 helpings of nachos tonight. We're gonna give these are not your just these are your McDonald's supersized helmets. These are like your Barry Bonds batting helmets. He had like a size 9 hat or whatever with his steroids. These these are
what steroids? Wait a minute, he was natural. He was all natural from the health food store. Come on now.
I know it was never proven, so but allegedly. Size 9 batting helmet full of nachos here with extra cheese. They have to go to 3 people, and 2 of them are Rockies. 2 2/3 for Anderson, the starting pitcher. Get this line: 9 runs on 10 hits, 2 walks. He gave up 3 home runs. Then you followed it up with Davis, who had another tough inning. He's all, hold my beer. 3 innings, 9 runs, 11 hits, 2 strikeouts, though. He's like, I got 1 more strikeout than you. He only allowed 1 home run. His ERA balloons to 10. And you know who I'm giving the 3rd one to? Can you guess who I'm giving the 3rd helping of nachos to?
Does he ink in the sea?
He inks in the sea and on himself on a nightly basis. Andrew Squiddy Velasquez, the only guy to realize I'm still the suckiest player out here no matter who bats for the Rockies. He came in as a defensive replacement. He promptly goes 0 for 3 and strikes out. What a pathetic piece of shit.
You know what was funny? If fans were watching in the 9th inning, I forget if it was the 1st out or the 2nd out of the bottom of the 9th, one of the Rockies players kind of looped a little flare thing in a left center field, and Fletcher kind of made a nice football grab.
Oh, yeah.
And Ward and Velasquez kind of converged, and Ward kind of slapped Fletcher on the butt, and Velasquez tried doing the same to his wrist, and Fletcher just kind of looked at him. It's probably a joke, but he looked at him like, don't touch me. And I'm like, yeah, don't get all your toxic, fungus energy on a player that just had a 4 hit, 5 RBI night. Back the off.
Exactly. Oh, man.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Well, let's get into some of the stats that I know you brought up, and you might have some stuff on the newly acquired Mike Moustakas as well, right?
Yeah, for those that are just tuning into the post-game show, Todd, thanks for having me on tonight. A big night for the Halos. Who would have thought, after last night's Buttercup, blow pen, Angels of old type of game, they come back tonight and rattle off franchise records. Like 3 players on the Angels were 1 hit shy of a cycle. Yep. Moniak could have had a cycle if he didn't trip around first. Like, there's just moments like that this could have been even bigger than what it was. But let's break down the big record-breaking stats tonight once again. Franchise record in runs and hits, 25 and 28 respectively. They had 5 home runs in a game. Renfroe and Moniak had 5 hits. They scored 13 runs in 1 inning, which ties the franchise record. How about this one? 13 for 24 with runners in scoring position after hitless in runners in scoring position during the 3-game losing streak. That's quite the difference.
Crazy.
Moniak's 4 extra base hits out of his 5 hits tonight is the 12th time an Angel player has had 4 extra base hits in a game. First time since Mike Trout in 2018. 23 runs in 5 innings of work tonight, most by a team in baseball since 1974. Brandon Drury has a career high 4 RBIs. Fletch has a career high 5 RBIs. And of course, I know we'll talk about it more in a little bit after the offensive palooza. Griffin Canning, which I think right now, even with Ohtani in the rotation, Canning's been our best pitcher. 2-0 with a 2.35 ERA in June. 5 quality starts at 6 innings or more in his last 6 appearances. There's so much to be said in this box score and everything. I'll give some props to some guys. You know, everybody deserves props tonight, except for Velasquez, of course. Mike Trout finds a way to get right tonight, 3 for 3, with a dinger to dead center field. He started off the back-to-back-to-back on 3 consecutive pitches, which was funny as well between him, Drury, and Theis. Taylor Ward, 2 for 6, 3 ribbies. He had quality at bats tonight. Eduardo Escobar, I know you mentioned him already, but he said, screw the 6-game under 500 Mets. I'm coming to a winning team in a ballpark that I know very familiar because he played with the Diamondbacks for so many years. And he cranks out a 2 for 4 performance, and he really got things going for the Angels in that 2-run second inning before all the madness happened. So there's a lot of things you can pinpoint today. For a numbers person like me, this is an outrageously crazy box score. Incredible game.
Yeah, this was one. I'm seeing the comments coming in. 2 I want to comment on real quick. Vetter's right. I didn't think Fletcher was going to be on the squad this year. I didn't think he was going to be any kind of a factor. And then Little Wayne says that most of these sites, including ours, have kind of brushed aside Griffin Canning and focused on Sandoval. And I'll say that too right now. Like other pages won't admit they're wrong, but we will. And especially me, I'll sit here because, again, I was comparing Sandoval to a Chuck Finley. For some reason, Sandoval doesn't seem to have an out pitch on a 2-strike call. He wants to burn his mediocre fastball by you, and that's not working. But as far as Canning, I mean, they wanted him to win tonight. They were like, six runs wasn't good enough, so we need to get you 24.
But another fact from Canning tonight that Matt Vasgersian and Gooby pulled out. I don't know, whoever the statistician in the press box was tonight for the Angels, he gets the honorable mention John Stamos Award tonight for plucking all these stats.
Mm-hmm.
Griffin Canning now leads baseball, all pitchers in Major League Baseball, in runs support. He now is averaging 9 runs of support per start due to 23 runs of support tonight. How about them apples?
Well, that's not bad. I mean, he's like Ohtani. They should have way better records than what they do. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like Ohtani gives up 12 or 1 run and strikes out 12 and gets a loss. Griffin Canning had a 6-run lead and gets a no decision. A lot of these guys have gotten no decisions. They should both have like 10 wins already, but Canning has been very solid. So yeah, he's been. You know what? I think it's the same thing with Chris Rodriguez. Chris Rodriguez was supposed to be better than Griffin Canning, and we thought that both of these guys would be back this year, and we thought Rodriguez would be the guy that would probably be, out pitching him a little bit. Canning, we've always thought he's like a 9-10 win guy, maybe 10-7, 10-8 with a 4.50 ERA. Nothing spectacular, but something changed this year, Dominic, and he's finding his spots. He's pitching with a lot of confidence, and I don't know if he's trying to be that number 2 guy, but I do like what I've seen in the last month and a half from Canning.
Well, with the rotation the way it is right now, with the exclusion of Jaime Barria, because Barria wasn't in the starting rotation at the onslaught of the season, Canning is the number 2 guy. I know everybody will say Ohtani's one, and rightfully so. Ohtani, look at his last start against the Dodgers on Wednesday. It was fantastic. And same with Reed Detmers, but between Canning, Detmers, and Sandoval this year, Canning has been the most consistent at the end of the day. Detmers would be next, and then Sandoval would be at the bottom of that. So, yeah, Canning is battling for that number 2 position. And when you look at it as a whole, I feel Fletcher and Canning have kind of suffered the same fate a little bit. They got hot really quick and they had great, I guess you could say, rookie, younger, previous season campaigns. Then the injury bug came, especially more so for Griffin Canning. He's really had to work back from the problems that he's had. And when Fletcher came back last year, as you said, he was dog meat at the end of last year. He was terrible. Flat swings, not going anywhere, striking out, something we had never seen from David Fletcher. And I really do believe he was still not 100% from that surgery that he had. The core hip, whatever the surgery was called. I don't think he was 100%, and that was limiting. We talked about this all the time, and in a way, this kind of goes into Mike Trout's struggles as well. Albert Pujols during his tenure, when he had the heel injuries, the plantar fasciitis, all that stuff, and he was the type of player where if his lower half was not working, everything above was flat and not coming about. If your lower half is working, your upper half will carry, especially all these guys are strong. They hit the weight room. They're not the D. Gordons of the world that are skinny twigs. No, these guys can swing it. So if you have your lower half right, your top half will follow. And I think that was what the problem was with David Fletcher. He's figuring it out now. That first week in AAA, it was like, okay, this guy's worrying us. And then I think he got healthy, he got right, and he's fine. And kind of the same thing with Griffin Canning. He's been under the radar. No one pegged him. I don't think any of us at Catella Chronicles, Halos in the Infield, anywhere, had him coming back before the All-Star game this year because there were so much questions during preseason and spring training. So Fletcher and Canning, I know it's one game for David Fletcher, and it's against the Rockies, and it's kind of that all mirage kind of night. But if Fletcher can be a 2-for-3, 2-for-4 game batting consistently like he used to be a year and a half ago, this really helps out the lineup with the Angels. And Canning, just keep doing your business, bro. I love it.
Or even if Fletcher can give you a 1-for-4 and a walk or something like that, that's more than enough production that we've seen at shortstop since Neto's went down. And hopefully Neto can come back soon. That adds even more depth. But I think what we've seen in the minor leagues in AAA with David Fletcher is that his batting stance is a little bit different. He looks confident in the box. What does that usually entail from? Maybe that what's called a hitting coach, a good hitting coach. It seems like Salt Lake can hit. Seems like the Trash Pandas can hit, and they adjust and help these young kids come through. Chris M said, "Did Marcus Thames have the day off tonight?" And a couple of these comments are real quick too. And Andrew said, "Light that baby up." Crazy what happens when these guys that are supposed to start. And then IE Native said, "This game was going well until Velasquez came in."
Yeah, I agree. I was here with my parents tonight, and my mom's like, "What the hell is he doing in this game? We're up 24-0. We don't need to be an embarrassment." And I said, if the Angels blow a 24-0 lead, pack it up, go home, forfeit the rest of your games, enjoy a very, very long winter.
Oh, I would quit. I would quit the post-game show. I wouldn't do it anymore. If we lost the game tonight, that'd be it.
I would have been under a rock. I think a lot of Angel fans would have been burning memorabilia tonight at this point.
Well, it's funny because when we were at City Walk, I was telling Steve Elise because we were coming back. She's like, have you ever seen them blow out a team like this? I said, yeah. In the 90s, we were in Camden Yards, and the Angels were up something stupid like 19-3 in the ninth inning, and they used 5 pitchers before they had to go to a starter to get the final out. They gave up 13 runs, and the Orioles had the bases loaded with 1 out. They had to bring in, I think it was either Langston or Finley, to induce the game-winning double play. They were only up 3 after being up 16 to start the ninth.
Yeah, the biggest game I can think of was, the famous Rangers-Orioles game where the Rangers won 30-3. The Angels, I was talking with this with my dad. We're like, when is the last time the Angels have had this kind of thumping gone in their favor? And I could think of both ways. If the Angels were on the great side of this or the bad side of this, I don't remember, at least in the last 10, 20 years, the Angels getting whacked by a score like this. There's been times where the Angels lose 16-7, or like earlier in May when they lost to the Rangers 16-8. They give up runs. But it's not like they only get 1 run in that game. They're always in those big blowouts where the pitching sucks. The offense still has something to show for it. So this, to me, in my frame of thinking, is the first time I've really seen the Angels put a thumping on a team like this bad, and within a very short 5-inning span. It was one after another. It was just the domino effect that just wouldn't end. Another fun fact that Matt Vasgersian said tonight, before the bottom of the third inning, the entire Angels lineup had batted 3 times at least. The first batter for the Rockies in the bottom third was the 8 or 9 hole hitter. He was batting for the very first time. So the Angels had tripled around the Rockies order probably about an hour and 15 minutes into this game.
Yep. This game, if it was World Baseball Classic, it would have been over in the 3rd inning or 5th inning or something like that.
If this is your backyard Little League, it would have been called in the 3rd inning of the mercy rule.
Yeah, you had 10 2-out runs in this game as well. So that's pretty crazy.
Who knew the Angels could hit with two outs?
Exactly. Exactly. And then
this is a game that they need to have, like, after a bad loss or when they're winning games, but the hitting's not A-plus effort. They need to have this game rolling on the film in the clubhouse to be like, see, we can do this. We have it in us, excluding you, Velasquez, who can't do shit. But everybody can have the opportunity. Hey, even Rengifo at least he had a walk, so he did something tonight. But everybody can do this. Everybody is capable of this. And if the Angels can play like this, or at least 75% of what they did tonight for the rest of the season, they can compete with the Astros. They can compete with Texas. They can compete even, honk me if I'm wrong, they could compete with teams like Tampa Bay if they can play like this the rest of the way and have no more mental farts. Thank you.
That's a huge honk and an if, too.
It's a huge honk, and I think it just goes along with the mirage kind of. This is the one night a year. There's always that one magical game. Mm-hmm. Most of the time it's a walk-off. It's a down by 5 in the 9th inning and a win. There's always that one mirage game of the year. This is definitely it. I can already probably guarantee you this is probably, unless the Angels win the World Series, this is going to be the game of the year for the Catella Awards at the end of the year.
Probably. I mean, like, again, we'll have to see if they can get this, because what I want to see from this team is just consistency, man. We don't always have to be scoring 10 runs a game, but if you think about the Angels averaging 4 to 5 runs a game, they're going to win about 70% or higher with the pitching that they've got. And a couple questions here about Moore and Davinsky, Moore and Joyce. Moore's close to coming back. Still no timetable yet on Joyce, but that shouldn't be too long. So
yeah, from what I read today, Moore has been traveling with the team. He's in the dugout. He's been a good cheerleader. He had I believe he's throwing a sim game this weekend in Colorado. If it was today or probably tomorrow, the day game, who knows? So hopefully they're saying later next week if all goes well. So maybe late of the White Sox series, Diamondback series, who knows? Maybe he comes back to the lineup on the tailgate day, July 1st. There's a nice little plug.
Yeah, get your tickets now.
Yeah, call 714 tickets on Monday. They're closed tomorrow. Call them on Monday. And Ben Joyce, he doesn't have the numbing from the last time we heard, but he hasn't done any baseball activities throwing the ball quite yet. So my guess, to be safe than sorry, Ben Joyce is probably going to be after the All-Star break, if I had any guesses.
Okay, and I had one other question. Was Stefanik sent down? Because I didn't see that in the release.
Okay, I'm going to come closer to you, Todd. Stefanik was sent down instead of Velasquez. This was the full assortment this morning. It was Walsh and Stefanik sent down to AAA Salt Lake. Eduardo Escobar gets brought up, and that third catcher that we had for like 2 games, Chris Oakey, was DFA'd or pulled off the 40-man roster in exchange.
Now, see, I did not know that, so...
Yeah.
Emotional damage!
I can't believe you would keep dumbass Squid up here, because again, I was working this morning, so I didn't. I knew Walsh went down. I got that alert. I did not know they. See, why do you bring up Stefanik When he's batting 371, you don't start him, and then you're just like, oh, here's an opportunity. Squid shit the bed. Nah, go back down.
Michael Stefanik, he's a scrappy hitter. He reminds me of Gio Urshela. He'll put the ball in play. He'll have a quality at bat, and he'll get you what you need. I'm not guaranteeing you, a 4-for-4 performance with, 2 runs scored, 3 RBIs, and a stolen base. But you need that consistency of battling at the plate. And especially we saw it in the 2-game series against the Dodgers. How many first pitch swings and outs were there that allowed Dodger pitchers to stay in the game longer? That's unacceptable. Wait it out a little bit. And Michael Stefanik also had the minor league record. I forget the number. I believe it was 62 or 63 consecutive games of getting on base, regardless if it was a hit, a walk, a hit by pitch, whatever it was to get on base. And then I think there was like a hitting streak of like 15 to 20 games or something in there as well. Like, this dude rakes. Everybody talks about, he has mediocre defense. What the? I'd rather have Stefanik out there than Rengifo and Velasquez. Like, what are we doing? Like, I get why they sent him back down. Get him playing time. Riding him on the pine is not going to do anything. Ride Velasquez on the pine. He don't deserve to do jack squat. Makes no sense.
I agree. I mean,
oh my gosh! Like, people that are watching right now, if you somehow in brains think Velasquez is worthy of being in Major League Baseball, he can be in the minors. I don't care. The kid, I'm going to call him a kid because he acts like a kid, was batting .214 at AAA when he was called up. .214
in a hitter's league.
In a hitter's league, at a hitter's park, and the PCL is just a hitter's dream. Look at Joe Adele. Nothing taken away from Joe Adele, but 514-foot moonshots. You should be able to do something out there. And Stefanik's batting .338, and he plays 2 games in a week and a half with the Angels. How does that even remotely make sense?
It doesn't, because this is what Stefanik literally said when he was sent down.
What the fuck did I do wrong?
He said, "What the fuck did I do wrong?" And it sucks. I mean,
it's horrible. I really can't. There's no words anymore. Anything with Velasquez, he could hit a walk-off home run, and I think we'd be like, great. Like, well, yeah, I don't think I care.
My response is when he got a bunt down and he got on because it was a bad throw, I felt like saying,
"Oh, good for you."
He deserves the ultimate participation award, and I hate those.
Yeah, I can't stand him.
I know this is turning into a Velasquez rant, but he deserves it.
Yep. I think we need to focus on good things here. I mean,
let's do it.
Let's focus on the fact that Hunter Renfroe went 5 for 5 tonight. The fact that we've been dying for him to get something going, because there was a part in the season, or a time in this season where Hunter Renfroe was leading the team with home runs and RBIs. It was right after Ohtani went down. Renfroe went on a tear. So it seems like we've had when the team starts to all collectively go cold, one guy starts to just heat up and carry us. Like Drury was carrying us there for a week or two. Neto was doing it. Theis was doing it. Ohtani, obviously. We need all these guys to come together and just be somewhat consistent. We're not asking for 5 for 5, 4 for 4s. You have those nights every now and then. It's not going to be the whole lineup. Like, this is the coup de grace, like you said. This is going to be Catella Chronicles Game of the Year because of the runs and everything else. But we just need some consistency. Like, yeah, there's going to be a couple guys who go over on a nightly basis, or if that just flips around every now and then, and you're getting 6 or 7 guys getting a hit or more in the lineup, you're gonna win games. And the key is to have these guys have productive at bats. And if they're not, instead of striking out or routine pop outs, those are going to happen. But if you got runners on base, move them over by hitting to the right side, get a bunt down, sacrifice fly to score a run, do stuff like that, because runners in scoring position numbers will start going up if we're constantly getting on base, stretching, putting pressure on the pitchers, stealing bases, and moving the runners and keeping them going around, around the bases, station to station if we have to. It's a good thing, and I'm hoping a game like this will bring confidence. Bringing in Escobar will help the Duck, because what we've heard from New York, the guys love him over there. He's a rah-rah guy. Fletcher was like that here too, a jokester, kind of quiet at times, but then would joke around. We need that influx, and if Ward's not going to hang, fuck it. If we're not serious about trading Adele, fuck it, bring him up. Let's see what he's got. They're willing to make moves. Maybe Perry heard my rant the other night where I was.
Oh, he better have. I think everybody heard your rant. I think the entire United States of America heard your rant.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, it got back to him. That's good, because we saw changes in the lineup. We saw guys move in different positions. They're experimenting, because I called him out for being able to do that with the pitching staff and with the minor leaguers and not caring about options and things like that. Let's finally do that with our youngsters on the hitting side. And it seems like they're doing that. It seems like they're not afraid to DFA people and moves, at least from today. But I want to see what happens tomorrow, obviously going game by game, and then our next series against Chicago at home. I don't want them to come home off a high if they win tomorrow to just shit the bed. I want to see some consistency, especially against a very mediocre Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, you want to enjoy this Rocky Mountain high, and at the end of the day, when the heads hit the pillows and they wake up tomorrow morning in Colorado, you still got to go out there and get the rubber game of this 3-game series. You lost game one, which you probably should not have, not probably, you should not have lost that game. You had plenty of opportunities. Tonight was that mirage kind of game, and hopefully that's a galvanizing situation for the Angels. You got to go out and win that game so you can come home feeling good, that you don't feel pressure that, oh crap, we just lost 2 of 3 to the worst team in the NL West. We got to go sweep the White Sox and put more increasing pressure on yourself. But full thoughts on Hunter Renfroe. Fun fact, I didn't know Hunter Renfroe's real first name was Dustin, by the way. Hunter's his middle name.
Wow.
Fun facts tonight here on the postgame show. He's batting .261 with 12 home runs and 37 RBIs. You balance that out and keep that .260 average, he's probably by the end of the year hitting 20-some-odd home runs and maybe 60-ish RBIs. Brandon Drury's along that same trend right now. Having 2 guys like that in your lineup is huge. I know they can get really hot and they can get really cold, but at the end of the day, when the numbers are on the table, that is some good numbers. He batted .269 in April, .235 in May, but somehow, some way in June, he's figuring it out. I know the 5-hit game really helps the average, but he's batting .306 with 2 homers and 8 RBIs in June. Who cares how you get it? Just get it at the end of the day. And, I'll take it. I'll take Hunter Renfroe playing this way. I'll take Brandon Drury playing this way. I think right now with the lineup that we had tonight, Ward is the guy that really needs to step it up. He has it in him. We've seen it. He needs to find that striking match mentality to really go off and have that really power.
I think he froze right there. Angel Central said trade Ward for a bag of peanuts. So I think that could be a possibility the way he's playing. Johnny B. Good says this should be the team going forward. Manassian better not even think of trading Fletcher. He is a clutch hitter we've needed. Trade who they've got to trade, but not Fletch. And real quick, Infinite One had a pretty good idea. We win here, we win there.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there.
Exactly. Also, I think the Halos overdosed on some HGH last night after an embarrassing loss. Are you still there for I was going to call you Fernando. Dominic? I think we might have lost him. We'll see what happens. Maybe he can click back the link. Let's see. Phil Nevin should be show some TLC. My strange addiction is on addiction for starting Ward. Yes, that is. I mean, it's not.
Yes.
It's not putting.
I'm back, Todd. By the way, sorry the internet went out for a second.
It's okay, Dominic. Strange.
We're having too much mirage. We're having too much mirage moments, and I couldn't handle it.
Jerry says need Squid around so you can keep your ranting. Love the rants. Well, I do rants on. nightly basis, I've ranted a lot about the Angels losing in different ways. We've had some pretty epic meltdowns, but not tonight. You can't rant, Dominique, when you win by 23, correct?
No, it was a football score tonight. It was the Chargers defeating the Broncos tonight. I know the Orange County doesn't have a football team, but you see Chargers players come to Angel Stadium all the time. So it was a thrashing. It was an absolute thrashing. And, I'm not, the only rant you're getting from us tonight is Velasquez, the torture that he is putting all of us under. Everybody else gets glowing remarks tonight. Glowing remarks. And hopefully for a lot of the naysayers out there, hopefully this has been a topic of conversation now for 2 months. Is this the performance where Mike Trout breaks out? I think it goes without saying, 3-for-3 performance, nearing a cycle. He started the offense tonight with that home run to dead center. I give him an 8 on this. And I know, again, another hunk potential moment. He's working in BP. He's out there. He's working. He's trying to get that timing right. And like I said earlier about the lower half, got to be right. I think he's trying to get his lower half to communicate with his upper half and to get everything back at the same time and cohesively working. So if this is a series and type of game that Trout needs, imagine getting Mike Trout being Mike Trout in a lineup like this when everybody else is just right. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be the key moving forward. He's got to be a cog in this lineup if they're going to do anything moving forward or get to the postseason. I've said that all year. Ohtani can't carry this team by himself. You need 2 big mashers in that lineup, and you need the supporting cast. And if the supporting cast can get healthy, and the supporting cast is your Moniaks, your Theises, your Escobar, and your Fletchers, those are going to be 4 good improvements to a team that – and Moustakas off the bench, I mean, that's nice. Oof. And the Angels' grandma checks in, was so happy for Fletcher. I knew he still had it in him when given the chance. Joe Adele should be up. Give this man a chance. And for all the trade talk that we've talked about and getting him somewhere else, it could be one of those things where, like, his boy went to Philly – and he flourishes somewhere else. We've talked about that many times on the Catella Chronicles and on our podcast, and I believe that's going to be Adele's fate eventually, unless he really gets a serious opportunity and he can actually ball out. I think the tide would turn and they'd want to keep him here. The thing is, where do you put him? And if that strange obsession that was talked about in one of the comments, can we get over the Ward experiment and give this man one more chance?
It's hard to say. I'm still a firm believer in Taylor Ward. I think we saw great things from him last year, and he went through that little downward trend. He was an all-star, last year for the first half of the season before he went down, just kind of downplaying everything. I still have belief in him. Hunter Renfroe's a free agent at the end of this year, so who knows what happens to him if they re-sign him or let him go. But Mickey Moniak has not made the situation easy for Joe Adele. I think if Joe Adele performed last year or the year before, Moniak's probably not coming in an Angels uniform. They don't make that trade. So, and I don't see the Angels sending Taylor Ward down to AAA unless he was doing what Jared Walsh was doing. Because if you compare Walsh to Ward, Ward is God in comparison to Walsh. Walsh, I love the guy. Tough situation for him. Hopefully he can get things right. But with a couple of these moves that the Angels have made in the last 48 hours with Escobar, now Moustakas, Brandon Drury can play everywhere. Renfroe now has 1 game under his belt at first base. Jared Walsh might be in a Salt Lake Bees jersey for the rest of the year to get right. And I'm okay with that if all goes well up here at the MLB level.
Yeah, he'd have to beat out some pretty good players who are going to try to take his shot here at his position. Yeah. Moving forward. Also, a couple says, may you please play the Bally Sports. So let's see what happens. So tonight they were talking about the home run by Trout and Fletcher. And then we got into some whopper on a pitching change by the Rockies. Hey, Gooby, did you see that home run from the 3rd inning when they scored 13 runs? The back-to-back jacks. Wasn't that great, Gooby? Hey, my name is Matty Vasgersian. I'm here calling the Angels games. And wow, we're just going to ignore they lost 3 in a row. But hey, guess what? Shohei pitches in a couple days. Yeah, that's our wonderful Bally's. Eric Ward,
gotta love him.
Yeah, Eric Ward says, Todd, do you think Roger unloaded in his pants tonight? But by far. I mean, I
don't know if he did. Ohtani only had 1 hit tonight.
Yeah, but he's thinking about all the highlights he can play on Monday. Like, he's going to ignore Friday's game, and he's going to be like, I told you, Lodge's lock for 24 runs. Like, no, you didn't. And then he's going to be like, James, can you play the home run? James, can you play that home run? James! So,
the Angels winning by 24 was the amount of times I can say John Stamos in 10 seconds.
I'm still convinced that when he's in an intimate situation with his wife, he does not call her name. He calls John's name. That's just my feeling about that.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking now. I know I'm watching the feed here on the postgame show on my phone, so I'm a little bit behind on the phone. But I'm seeing some comments. You want to talk about a little Mike Moustakas right now, because I think that was something that we were on the incredible high of this game, and then all of a sudden, boom! Trade news from Perry Manassian. Mike Moustakas is an Angel. So before we get into numbers and situations that are now being created with him, initial gut reactions on Angels acquiring Mike Moustakas for a high A level on Connor Van Scoik. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's like Russian or something.
I like the move. It's just like, he hasn't had the playing time. I know he's been injured. We talked about this off the cuff here before we got started, but he is a guy that I wanted on the Angels a long time ago before the Reds nabbed him when he was a free agent coming from Kansas City. I was like, dude, this would be the perfect second baseman at the time to go along with the Fletcher that they had. And I forget who was playing third base. It might have been when we just acquired Rendon even. So I was like, dude, this could be a super team if we got Moustakas, because I know he's from around here. And I thought, man, dude, this is going to be a great fit. And then when he went to Cincinnati, I was highly disappointed because he wasn't an expensive dude, and he was coming off a really big year with Cincinnati. And I thought, man, this guy's going to crush it for us.
Yeah, he out of Chatsworth High School in Chatsworth, California. He's a local product. Everybody knows him from the Kansas City Royals, their World Series. His last best year was back in, as I look at his career numbers on MLB.com, was 2019 with Milwaukee. He was healthy, 143 games, and he punctured a 254 batting average with 35 dingers and 87 runs batted in. He's had terrible luck. 2020 was COVID, and then 2021 and last season, injury plagued. He's a guy that's always an offense. He's a thump in the offensive order. And this year with Colorado, 47 games, a 270 average, 4 home runs and 17 RBIs with a 795 OPS. The numbers don't jump off the page. Are we getting the Moustakas 5-6 years ago? No. But is he going to be a piece now that adds depth to this team? Yes. This, as we mentioned a moment ago, this truly signals to me Jared Walsh is not coming up the rest of the year. I really don't think so, because when Rendon somehow, some way comes back to this lineup and he's playing third, you could see a combination of Drury and Escobar at first base and second base versus a lefty pitcher. But then you could also see Rengifo at second or third with Drury at first and Escobar at first. There's many combinations when you have 4 guys that can play 3 different positions. And when Neto comes back, Neto plays short. You could put Fletcher at second base, which is his true position. You now have not just depth, but versatility among this infield group that after losing Urshela, Rendon, and Zach Neto a week and a half ago and having to suffer through Switty Poo, I'm very confident where this infield can be. And even better, we get Escobar for free $99. The Mets are paying everything. Moustakas signed with the Rockies for $720,000 this year. 2-3 months of the season's passed, so you're probably paying him $500K or less at this point. That's worth the shot, and you didn't give up much for him.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, it provides. I mean, obviously, we would like these guys in their prime, and even Escobar and stuff like that. But if they're not playing every day, but they're playing, to fill in roles and give you offensive threats, because these are actual threats off the bench. You know what I mean? Like if they're not starting and they're serviceable starters every now and then, they can't be starting every day. I think we know the lineup we should have, but it's all up to philosophy if he's going to come through with that. And speaking of philosophy, Johnny B. Good said, "Did you hear Phil's post-game interview? He sounded disappointed and pushed when the team scored 25 runs. What the fuck? He pretty much sounded like he wasn't. Sounded that wasn't good sportsmanship on their part, saying that 25 runs was too much to score. I think you keep scoring until they stop you, dude. Like why let up on them? They're pros too.
Yeah, I get the whole mentality of the unwritten rules of baseball, and some of them I agree with and some of them I don't. And that goes along baseball, football, basketball, all sports. But in a game where the Angels are on a 3-game losing streak, they need something to go right. You're getting everybody hot at the same time. I'm sorry that I swing a bat and the ball happens to jump off my bat and I get a base hit in a no man's land in the outfield. Like, what do you want me to do about it? Then if you had a problem with it, then signal to every batter, bunt. Have them bunt for 3 straight hours. Like, regardless if that's his tone or not. I didn't personally see the post-game interview for Phil Nevin tonight because we were getting ready to jump on the post-game show.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm interested now to kind of go back and see it. Maybe he's just trying to save face so the Rockies don't think, oh, it was Nevin's plan to shove 25 runs down our throat. He kept telling them to step on the throat, keep hitting. The Angels don't have a big bench. They used everybody out of their bench. Canning went 6. Ingram went 2. Davidson pitched the 9th. So it wasn't like he shoved Canning and threw 154 pitches for a complete game shutout. So the line is kind of teetered here. It's interesting. If he does truly feel that way, expect a philosophy game tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's going to be so disappointing because, again, this is a lineup I'd like to see start for Tyler Anderson, bro. How confident are you with Tyler Anderson going tomorrow, knowing that he's one of the guys that, yes, gets a lot of run support, but he gives up a lot of runs too?
The one thing that I'm in favor of Tyler Anderson tomorrow is he's pitched for the Rockies before. In his career, he's pitched as a Rocky, so he knows that ballpark extremely well. Then he's pitched against the National League, and he's done it extremely well this year. So there's 2 things going on his side, and his last few starts haven't been jump off the grid amazing, but he gets run support, and it's not bad. He's 4-1, with an a 5.64 ERA, so not great, but the Angels offense finds a way to figure it out for him. So, looking at his month of June right now, 2-0 with a 6.19 ERA. Let's just base it off his last start at Kansas City. 2 runs in 5 innings. If we can get that, I'm not asking for a 7-inning performance. Give me the minimum 5 and give me 3 or less runs. If you can do that, I will be 100% satisfied with that performance.
Agreed. And speaking of a game right now, not to change the subject, but the chair, I saw one of his comments earlier. I missed it. There was a 30-3 game in 2007. I don't remember that one.
Yeah, that was the Rangers and Orioles.
Oh, okay. He said
at Camden Yards.
Damn. That's when the Orioles were pathetic.
I think that was when the Orioles were winning like 50, 60 games a year, and that was it.
Jeez. Boy,
and look how the times to turn. They lead the American League wildcard standings.
Yeah, that's true. And you know who snuck in here? Because I'm going through some of the comments since we're doing a little bit different show tonight. So I missed a lot of the comments from earlier tonight or when we first got on. But so what's up to Sean and Brian and everyone that was commenting? So I apologize. Hunter got in here. Hayes has been saying a lot of comments here too. Sean jumped in. Norton, he wanted to ask. We answered most of these questions. Cam Free joined into Trouta here. Mama Luigi just saying what's up to everybody. David Rosca. Matty Matt checked in. He said Canning is becoming an ace. He thinks he's becoming an ace. One other comment I wanted to get to. Also, Lakers fan in Japan said what's up and liked the fact that Moniak got to play. And also, Angel Sensor says reports are Rendon hurt his other wrist with all the high fives. so he could be out for longer. And then you know who made a freaking appearance? And I didn't even see it till now. Leaf from Seattle.
What up?
Leaf, the guy who everyone loves to troll on, and he takes it like a man. I'll say that.
Tip of the cap.
Yeah, he actually jumped in here, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know. I'm stealing the thunder for the fans tonight in the chat room. Coming on, and Todd, cheers to you for setting this up tonight. I know it was a last-second thing, but making it happen, and everybody's doing a terrific job. There's a lot to be happy about tonight. Yeah, is tonight one of those kind of the free spot on the bingo? The Angels, we get to enjoy the wins, 25-1, like. That doesn't happen every day. That doesn't even happen once a season. That's a once-in-a-blue moon type situation. So, glad we can enjoy this one a little bit more.
Exactly. And it's nice to get a nice blowout like this. Also, Sean said, hit that Savage Garden. Anna says, Erica Weston, did you know that there was a 5-hit game from our boy Fletcher? They're queuing up the Bally Sports.
We queue up the Bally Sports, baby.
Yeah. Did you want to take a few phone calls?
Sure. Before we do, I just want to, before this will give a nice little perspective and everything.
Okay.
The standings. American League West. Courtesy, I can't believe I'm going to say this, courtesy of the Yankees and the Dodgers. The Angels have gained some ground tonight. They're now in second in the AL West, 6 games back of Texas, who lost 1-0 to the Yankees. Houston, the blow pen for them, blows it against the Dodgers, losing 8-7. So the Astros are now in third, 6.5 back. Looking at the wild card, if the playoffs started today, we would have the final wild card slot. Baltimore's 5.5 up. The Yankees are a half game. And then we are right there, tied with the Toronto Blue Jays for the final spot in the AL wild card race. How about them apples?
That would have been nice had we won last night. We'd be five out, right?
Correct. Texas won last night, so yeah, five at that point.
Oh man, I just want to get back into a spot under 4. You know what I mean? So it's a Halo Honk line.
Hey, what's going on, Todd?
What's going on, James?
Oh, I mean, nothing much.
Jason, I'm sorry.
Croom dog, no, you're good. You're good. I just got off work in 10 of the last 11 days, so this was a good welcoming victory. That was pretty cool. The Angels tied the Pittsburgh Pirates for the most runs in 2 innings, the third and fourth. The 1894 Pirates. It tied for the most in Major League history.
Damn, that's pretty crazy.
Oh yeah,
I didn't have that record on my sheet.
It's like a ragtag bunch of like the Hogan's Heroes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just a bunch of guys thrown together.
Myself.
No, you're good. You're good.
So yeah, I mean, it's like, I wish I could bottle this game up and then hold those runs for other games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was such an awesome game, man. And I was just like, wow. And they just 13 runs. I'm like, okay, 13 runs. Okay, they had a 13-0 no hitter last year. I'm like, okay, hold this lead, please, right? And I'm like, Then all of a sudden, I go away and come back, and it's like, 23-0? I'm like, what?
Yeah,
that is nuts.
They turned it on them tonight, and that's what we want. Like you said, being able to score runs, is at a premium, and you'd hate to see them come out and score 3 tomorrow. Like you'd want them to get, put another 7 or 8 up on the board and beat them 8-2. You don't want to see them lose tomorrow and lose the series. So tomorrow's game's crucial.
Is this the game that lights the fire up there under their asses.
What do you think, Dominic?
It has to, right? Like, how can a 25
Hello?
Oh, can you hear?
not
Yeah,
light fire
I
under your ass?
heard
Everybody's
chat,
celebrating
and then
together.
I didn't hear
Everybody's having a
the
good time.
comments. I didn't hear Dominic. I probably can't hear because of the phone.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, yeah.
Oops, I lost
Oh,
you.
no worries, man. No, I honestly think this is
Still
definitely
there?
a game.
Oh,
Yeah,
I lost the call.
yeah, no,
Oh, there
he's here. He's here. I don't know why you're not able to hear Dominic. You should be able to hear Dominic. I don't know why.
Yeah. But I'll
that's
whisper
weird. I
sweet
couldn't hear the
nothings in
other
a
part.
Todd's ear.
Oh yeah,
Bad connection. Who knows?
no. I think what we're gonna do is we'll have Dominic chime in. I'll just repeat what he says, but basically he's hoping that everything will go right and we'll be able to not repeat this, but get some of the runs for tomorrow because it would be a kick in the ass if we didn't. But it should be a kick in the ass. He said if with a run support tonight, showing that we can get this kind of run support, or at least get half of this get half of this production on a nightly basis.
This team is hungry, and they got a lot of SoCal kids on it. Kind of like how the who was it? Like the Angels and was it Garrett Anderson, Tim Salmon. I'm not trying to correlate, but there's a lot of like Fletch when Stefanik was up, Davinsky, now Moose. There's a lot of like home cooking on this roster. So I mean, I'm not trying to correlate it, but hey, there could be something special coming.
I hope so, Jason.
All right, we'll see.
Yeah,
I'm going to go to bed. You guys have a good night. Go Halos.
Go Angels. Have a good night, my man.
Bye.
All right, that's Jason right there calling in. I called him James. But what do you think, man?
What are you gonna do, Todd?
I know. Hold on a second. Get another call. Damn. Hold on. It's the Halo Honk line.
That was good. That should have been yesterday, but oh well. That I needed that. I kind of needed that.
Yeah, I think we all needed that, bro. That was a 24-1 or 25-1 butt kicking, and we're not going to get much of those, but man, I'll take it because this was like let out your frustration when something happens at school and your girlfriend's stolen and you just want to beat something up, break something. This is what it felt like tonight.
Yeah, it was so bad that Moustakas went to a different clubhouse during the mid game. It was being so bad.
But by the way, hold on a second. Can you hear Dominique?
What's up?
No. Is he speaking?
Well, now I am. I'll speak as much as
No,
you want me to
I can't
speak.
hear Dominique.
Dang, I'm
okay.
trying to fix that right now. I'm trying to get that sound set over. But go on, Super. Let's hear what you got.
Well, yeah, if God could split the runs from today and put it in yesterday's game, we would have a better record. But 25 runs sounds cool to me, just saying, because that doesn't even. You said that doesn't happen very often to this team. I don't think that really happens often in the league.
Oh, and I know that you don't really score. I mean, you have some double-digit games, obviously, but you don't have the type that happened tonight. Obviously, it's very rare when you score like 24.
Yeah, and if we actually shut out the Rockies, we would have the second highest shutout, like run differential. So if we shut out the team, we would be like second. How do I say this? So we shut out a team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if the Angels manage to shut out the Rockies, we will have the second most biggest run differential within the shutout since like the 1888 something Pirates or something. I don't remember. That would have been cool, but Ingram gave up that homer, so that sucks. But hey, it's a win.
Yeah, a win's a win. I'll take it. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, and I can't believe Ohtani was the worst player on the. Actually, it wasn't Ohtani. It was Velasquez. He should be DFA'd. I'm surprised that Squid was not DFA'd, but Stepanos was optioned. But Ohtani only had 1 hit out of like 7 at bats, which is like nah. But it's still a hit.
Hey, you know what? He deserves a night off, I guess. I mean, the offense was killing it tonight, so.
Yeah, Mickey Moniak, man. He made a lot of adjustments in the off season. I look at the StatCast from last year and this year. I can send you the comparison video if you want, but yeah, big difference.
Yes.
My man.
Shoot it over, man, because he needs to start, bro.
Yeah, he needs to start every day, man. I don't know why philosophy is like, oh, you went 5 for 5? No, say no more. You get a night off for like 5 days. What? Hunter Renfroe, man. I'm glad they finally put him in first base. Now he have like actual production, and just like looking at having Velasquez on the fucking roster gives me 2022 PTSD. Like I don't want to see him on the roster, man. Especially from yesterday. He ruined my birthday, man.
Yeah, Dominic's laughing at that for sure. I'm gonna have to do something with the sound. I don't think we're gonna have Dominic on for the phones. So we'll might take one other call because I know one guy's been calling in. I think it's Fabio from Texas, and then we'll just get back to our back and forth here. But I appreciate the call, Supra. I'm glad we got the win, and happy birthday, by the way.
Yeah, thanks.
You got
Go
it,
Angels. That was very refreshing.
Exactly. Go Angels, buddy. Have a good one.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so we might take one more phone call here just because we had someone calling.
Yeah, go for it,
Fabio.
man. Yeah.
But until that phone call comes, oh, there it is right there.
Well, there we go.
Well, I think this is Landon. Hold on. Let me see. Whoa, that's loud. Ah! Fuck!
Oh my God. That's the official honk sound.
That's too much honking. Hello? Halo Honk Line.
What up, Todd? How you been?
I've been all right. Much better tonight, dude.
Yep, we outscored the Rockies. Oh no, they only scored a run. But we philosophy. Hopefully, he plays Mike Moustakas tomorrow.
Yeah, Dominic. What do you think? Do you think, as I'll just relay it back to him, do you think Moustakas plays tomorrow or no?
It's interesting to think he had to have a long drive from one clubhouse to the other at Coors Field, but I was going to actually bring this up to you and now the callers.
Mm-hmm.
If Moustakas plays, who's sitting out? Because Moustakas probably plays first. So does Renfroe go back to the outfield? Does Ward have a day off? Or does Moniak have a day off? Does Escobar have a day off? Who would get the day off if Moustakas plays? It's a good problem to have, but it's hard to talk about after a game like this when everybody's hitting.
I would like to give it to, like, if I'm going to give a day off, I would give it to Ward because I thought they were going to use Ward at first base, Jesus and Dominic, but they wound up, keeping him in the outfield and moving Renfroe to first. To me, obviously Renfroe's got the best arm out of all three of them in the outfield. So I don't understand putting him at first. I think Ward's capable of playing first. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I mean, if you got to find a place for Moustakas at least to get some at-bats while the other guys are healing up, whenever. At this point, I think Neto's going to be back before Rendon, honestly.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be too much longer for Neto. He's a gamer. Unlike Rendon, Neto wants to play. So, yeah.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, who pitches for the Rockies tomorrow?
You got that, Dominic?
Yeah, I do. I was actually going to bring that up. Austin Gomber. He's a lefty with a 7.25 ERA. So that means Mickey Moniak is probably going to get the day off.
That's crazy.
But you wouldn't play Moustakas because Moustakas is a lefty. So that could bring up a whole realm of possibilities at that point as well.
See, and that's the problem because with philosophy, he thinks because you're not throwing, you're not batting lefties versus lefties. You should be tearing them up with all righties. It's not like that anymore. And this lineup seems to do the opposite, when you have the so-called advantage in the box. Again, I would love to see them give a shot to Theis versus a lefty, give a shot versus, with Moniak. And it's like, come on, man. I realize the unicorn can bat versus everybody, but let some of the other lefties get a chance too.
Yeah, it's true. Do you think, Ohtani, I know he's going to start tomorrow. Do you think he'll get a day off?
He's one guy that literally tells Nevin to fuck off. Like he plays when he wants to play, he sits when he wants to sit, and 95% of the time he wants to play. So I give him a lot of props. Like, they literally have to tell him, no, you're going to sit, and be firm with it. And even sometimes when they tell him no, he still wants to play. So
yeah, and he's slated to pitch on Tuesday.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure he'll be back out there.
What will you think the lineup will look tomorrow?
I have a good fun fact for you, Todd, if you want to relay this.
Yeah.
The Rockies starter tomorrow has reverse splits. Lefties bat 393 while righties bat 283.
Ooh, so he's been hit harder by the lefties, the left-handed pitcher tomorrow. I just don't know. I'm hoping that our media will get on Phil if he does not start Moniak. Because, again, going 5 for 5, how can you sit him? And you're not facing Kershaw tomorrow. You're facing a guy with above 7 ERA. So what's the worst that can happen? What are you going to throw Squid out there and expect this dude to have 3 hits tomorrow? It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. So you think they'll start Squid tomorrow at short, or you think they'll change it up and have somebody else start?
I'm going to say no on the Squid thing. Fletch and Escobar rank higher than him.
Yeah, he's saying Dominique said no on Fletcher and Escobar. They rate higher, so yeah, it's probably how it's going to go down. We'll have to see moving. It's hard to tell because, again, if it makes sense, Jesus, and it makes sense to you and me and the rest of the Angels fan base feels like, no, I got something for you. And it doesn't. That doesn't make sense. The obvious is to do what they did tonight and ride it and see what happens game by game basis, instead of what you've been doing for so long and it's proven not to work. It was obvious that the lineup needed a shakeup. It got shooken up big time, and they produced a big earthquake tonight. They're not going to do this every night, but maybe this will get them confidence to score the 4 to 5 runs a game.
Yeah, that's true. I was seeing the game today, and I was seeing that the Angels weren't playing a lot of small ball. They weren't bunting.
Oh, you mean they were doing a little bit more? They weren't going for the home runs as much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They only had a couple dingers tonight, or 3 or 4 tonight, but most of the runs came on hits, just solid hits. So, I'm looking. That's all we want from this team. If the home run comes, so be it. But enough of the solo shots and strikeouts and waste of outs. Let's be productive.
Well, let's see what happens tomorrow, man. There's still a lot of ball, and the Angels are only 6 games back from the Texas Rangers.
Yep, exactly.
And basically all the teams in the AL West, except the Angels, all of them lost.
Yep. So it's going to have to happen. Yep. We're going to have to keep taking advantage when those other teams lose. All right, Jesus. Appreciate the phone call, my man.
All right. Take care and have a good night.
You too.
And go Angels.
Go Angels. Yeah, we should start, Dominique, asking people for their high school too when they call.
Yeah, right. At that point, exactly.
Yeah.
But I really think in regard to the lineup tomorrow.
Hold on. Let's take this one last phone call, dude.
Go for it.
What's up, Fabio?
So what's how we doing?
Good. Can you hear Dominique at all? 'Cause I'm just trying to.
What's up, Fabio?
I don't know. Can he talk?
Yeah, he was just talking right now. You can't hear him?
No.
Nah.
Damn it. Okay, because I got to fix that for the next time we do this, because either James is going to come on next time or we're going to have Dominique back on again. So, like, if one of them are on, I want them to hear the phone call. So, one of the bugs of using this new system. But go ahead. Let's hear your take on this game, man.
Damn, bro, today was weird, man. I was like, all right, it's gonna be a stressful day because it's work, and then it's because the Angels suck. So, but no, I guess not today. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? I was expecting us to blow the 9-0 lead, and then.
Are you in a tornado right now?
No, is it loud? I'm outside.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, sorry.
If it's windy, yeah, it's getting a lot of feedback. But go ahead.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be stressful today, but apparently 25-1 is what happened. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like when you blow out a team, you're up 30-0 at halftime. There's no need to watch the rest of the game unless you're a super fan. But yeah, that's good, man. I mean, like, again, the chair brought up the day game tomorrow. It's frightening with the pitchers. There could be a lot more runs scored tomorrow. It could be a real back and forth game. The key is now this game is nice, but it's not going to mean anything if we don't win tomorrow's game.
True, but you know what I do like besides the actual game? Like, oh my God, dude, Perry is actually caring this year about our players and signing and backing up our shit, not just letting it go to waste. So that's good. That feels really good.
Well, that's something we wanted Epler to do, and he never did. Epler was just a mouthpiece, and if Artie wanted a special player, he did it. He wasn't the type to do these kind of moves. He was the kind of guy that would get a guy that was on his last leg or his last leg was already done, and he'd still go after him. So at least we're getting some talent in here to do some things to at least back us up to we're not like last year where, I mean, there was no feast or famine. It was just famine offensively. So, that's something.
Yeah, it was either famine or Ohtani did something that hasn't been done in 100 years. And it's getting boring.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, wow, I'm witnessing history, but I can't enjoy it. The fuck?
Yeah. I mean, like, again, I'm just happy that things are being done to try. They're showing that this is basically showing us that they're not going to trade Ohtani, that they're going to try everything humanly possible to get into the postseason, and if they do, I'm good with that, and we'll just have to deal with the ramifications afterwards.
I mean, if you don't get Ohtani, right, you're going to blow it up anyway. I mean, or, at least keep it like somewhat what it is. You're not totally going to rebuild probably. So there's not real any difference between keeping Ohtani and not except having him.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's not like going to blow everything up,
Yeah, because we lost our chance to get, because we still could have let him walk or we could have traded him and still had that money not having to spend it if we got some real blue chip players back, and then next year in free agency get a few guys. I'm just hoping that if he does walk, Marty's like, well, I don't have to pay that guy. Don't worry about it. Keep slimming down the payroll, and that's going to kill us. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm hoping. Yeah. That's why I'm hoping that that they're able to. If they don't get Ohtani, let's at least use half of what we would have spent on Ohtani to get some players to surround Trout and the rest of the guys. So we'll see.
Yeah, because if they keep Ohtani, it's pretty much like, all right, well, I guess I'm committing now to actually winning. But even then, you're kind of handicapped because you're paying him twice as much.
Well, yeah, because you're not only going to have to commit to what you're going to have to pay him, you're going to have to commit to more to the payroll. I mean, you're going to have to spend a lot more because then why would he sign back here if he's just going to be mediocre? Which I don't see.
When does Rendon get off the books? 26, right?
Yeah, 3 more years.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So I don't think he's gonna sign anything less than a 5-year deal. Ohtani, there's no way. You don't risk not getting a 5-year deal,
Well, if they're talking $500 million, that's at least 10 years, at least.
Yeah.
So we'll see, dude. I mean, I'm interested to see how much leeway he's gonna give his agent, or if it's really gonna be Ohtani's call. That's what I'm very interested to see moving forward. So.
Shit. All right, bro.
All right, brother. Appreciate the call.
Enjoy tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow.
You got it, brother. All right, that's Fabio from Texas. That will be the last phone call. So because I've been, we've had what do you call it? Sorry, Landon. We have to call in tomorrow. We had because I can't get Dominique to hear the phone calls. He's pretty much muted. So
yeah, I can hear everybody talking. They just can't hear me. So
yeah.
the guinea pig effect with you and I, Todd,
Yeah.
is always a fun thing.
We'll eventually get this 100% because I felt like for our broadcast, we were at about 80%. We were pretty good.
Yeah.
We still had a couple bugs to work out there, especially with Fernando coming in to, on our end. But definitely, definitely we'll have this fixed.
Well, while you talk, before we get in, probably final thoughts and some other things before we close up shop tonight, after the tailgate on July 1st, fans, don't forget to get your tickets, 714 tickets. I think Todd and I have agreed that some news will be breaking about some future live broadcasts as well.
Oh, yes. Well, we have more than one coming up. So
yeah, two, we'll say this. There'll be 2 in the month of July, and they're both what we would call rivalry games between not just the players, but the fan bases. Flip the Angels calendar to July, figure out what games they could be. One will be a weekend game. One will be a weekday game, not day as in sunshine, but just weekday. And it's going to be fun. Todd and I have been working on this for a couple of days now. We got everything set up, but we want to get through the tailgate first and enjoy that day, pump that, and then we'll celebrate with some big live games live from the ToddFox studios, which is always an added bonus.
And I think that deserves a
yes, that's how we're starting it off. That's how we're doing it. As soon as we walk into the room, dun dun dun.
We should have. I'm gonna make sure I have that on hand when we're at the tailgate. So, because James is gonna be doing a preview there, and I'm telling you guys, if you haven't, believe he's gonna be doing a preview as we're gonna be doing the tailgate and giving away the food and having a good time. And be sure to have your vouchers there, or at least the proof that you got your tickets, because we're going to be giving away your free shirts and your Thunder Sticks and all that other stuff. So it's from basically the tailgate will start at 2 and it'll end at 5, so everyone has enough time to make it into the stadium, get their seats and get their bobbleheads and all that other stuff. But in between, for those 3 hours, we'll have music, we'll maybe have some games, we'll have some giveaways. And we will also have the all-you-can-eat tacos and fucking all-you-can-eat helmet nachos. So I'm telling you, that's the only way you get that stuff for free. Otherwise, my boy James is going to charge you, because not James Gonzalez, but Kroom Dog, he's going to be charging for the tacos and the nachos if we if you don't have your voucher. If you have your voucher, you can go up and be like, hey, I want 4 more tacos. I want 4 more tacos. So, yeah. I will get back to you tomorrow. You're going to have to save your party stuff for tomorrow, my man. That's Big Hammer trying to get in. But go ahead.
No, No, I think at the end of the day, we're going to be partying it up in Section 237. And I know the Halos in the infield, the crew and myself will probably be walking around the stadium throughout the game as well, interacting with the fans and just enjoying a great time at the Big A. It's a sold-out crowd. You can't get tickets anywhere but 714 tickets at this point. It's going to be a madhouse against the Diamondbacks. It's going to be great.
Hammer, I know you've had too many Shirley Temples tonight. Just let us know the update tomorrow. We're not taking any more phone calls right now. Hammer sometimes doesn't get it right away. Yeah, and real quick here too, Johnny B. Good said, honestly, with the day we had, the milestones we made today, this team should have been praised. Instead, Nevin lowballed it like he was disappointed. Lasorda would have jizzed his pants with joy. Yeah, because as much as we hate the Dodgers, Lasorda was a winning manager. And they have, that guy lived and eat and breathed Dodger blue. I mean, his famous line was, I bleed Dodger blue. So, I wish this team would take that mentality as far as like bleeding angel red and being proud of itself when it does good. Because, I mean, come on, what more do we need to do to deserve some praise? I mean, I mean, he doesn't have to jizz in his pants, Dominique, but don't you think he needs to show some like, hey, man, I'm really proud of these guys. They went out there and they stomped the hell out of the Rockies. Rockies are a good team. Even if he's blowing smoke up our ass, be happy about it, right?
Yeah, like go in the clubhouse, slap a couple asses, and say, good job today. Like 25-1 doesn't come around every single day. And these are the games we talk about, regardless of the score. You got to win these games against these bottom feeder teams. Losing last night was unacceptable. winning tonight is acceptable. Going out tomorrow and picking up the Rally Chris Special 2 out of 3 is going to be important. Like, you got to go out and do what you got to do, because after the White Sox series, they play NL West opponents, interleague matchups, the rest of the way to the All-Star break. You need to make a push now, because guess who we play coming out of the All-Star break? Astros, Yankees, Pirates. And the rest of August, Toronto's thrown in there. Atlanta's thrown in there. August is not going to be easy. I'll tell you that. End of July to August is not going to be easy. Take advantage of these games now. Take advantage of the White Sox. The Diamondbacks are going to be a hell of a time. The Padres are picking up somewhat steam, but take advantage of them. And then you got the 2 at the Dodgers. Time to give them a little payback. So figure it out. This is the time to do it.
Yeah, and this is one thing too. Like, I would normally look ahead and say, well, we could do this and that versus those teams, but I'm literally scaled back to, let's see what we could do tomorrow. You know,
Yep.
like I'm hoping when we come back to Chicago, I'll assess that after what we see tomorrow. But you know, like you said, for the tailgate, we get the joy of seeing the Arizona Diamondbacks, and I think Vetter said that Ohtani's slated to pitch that game. So, is it Ohtani or is it Canning?
I'm looking right now. The Angels put out that Ohtani's pitching Tuesday. Everywhere else has him still slated Wednesday, so I'm guessing everywhere else is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But as of right now, the sites I look at, Saturday, July 1st, for the Diamondbacks, it's going to be Ryan Nelson against Tyler Anderson.
Ah!
As of right now, Canning is going the first. Like, right now, it's when the homestand begins. It's Berea, if it's right, Ohtani, flip Detmers to Wednesday, Sandoval the Thursday day game, and then Canning, Anderson, Berea in the 3 against Arizona.
Bro, if it's Anderson, it is the 4th game I've seen Anderson this year.
Oh my God! Because when we live broadcasted the Mariners game, you know, we had a good pitching matchup. We had Ohtani on the bump. That was nice.
That was nice.
Opening day, we had Sandoval. You know, when I went on opening day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I went against the Red Sox, it was Jaime Berea. So I've had a little bit of the poo-poo platter to quote unquote say, but it's going to be very interesting to see how this rotation, if they adjust it. Remember, there's no days off right now until July the 6th. So, you know, even if Ohtani flips with Detmers on, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday, that's probably not going to change the rotation at all further down the line. So here we go. This is the stretch that the Angels need. This week is going to be hella important, and it starts tomorrow.
Yeah, the season starts tonight, right, Roger? Wait, where is he? Oh, there he is.
Anymore. I just can't. And they can fire me if they want, but I can't sit around and listen to negative phone call after negative phone call. If you're a so-called Angel fan, if you're a Halo honk for life like me, then shut up with
Nevin's gotta go.
It's this guy's fault. It's that guy's fault. Forget it. Let it go. We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
He sounds a little extra raspy. Was Stamos, you know, somewhere in that mouth for a little while tonight?
Probably. I think there was something like this going on. Let's see, where is that soundbite? Oh,
John Stamos choked on me.
That's a new one. I haven't heard that one for a while. Oh my goodness gracious!
There's this one too.
The best looking guy to ever walk the face of the earth, John Stamos.
There's so many moments that we can just laugh about at this point. But yes, even though we make jokes, the season in a way does have to start tomorrow again for the Angels. We keep saying this, you know, the Texas series was great. That road trip in Kansas City was great. You know, taking, you know, the double shit against the Dodgers this week was not great. And then having to stew over it with 2 off days, that sucked.
Yep.
And then coming after the stewing off day, you got the stewing pile of crap last night. You know, we can enjoy it. The day ends in 45 minutes when we flip to midnight and we put our head on the pillow. And yesterday, you know, today will be a thing of the past, and it's good to enjoy it. But when you wake up tomorrow, you got to pretend like it didn't happen. And they got to go out. Tyler Anderson's got to be great tomorrow. Give me 5 innings and less than 3 earned runs. The offense go scores 6+ runs. And, I'm not asking for 25. Get me 6 to 8 runs. That's going to be great. And with Gomber being a reverse split type of guy, I'm really hoping Nevin, the philosophy, works in that favor, and Moniak's playing left, Trout in center, Renfroe in right, with Escobar at third, Fletcher at short, Drury at second, Moustakas at first, with Matt Theis behind the plate. It's probably going to be Wallach because Anderson throws to Wallach, but, catching is what catching is. And then Anderson goes out and does his business. That should be the lineup tomorrow, defensively, no doubt about it.
I'm hoping so because, we need to leave Colorado with a win. We need to win. We need to win that series for sure. So
we need a Rocky Mountain high.
Oh, we do. Absolutely. But
yep.
Any final thoughts on this one, man?
No, I think we've said it pretty straight up tonight. It was a mirage kind of night. These are games that we're going to remember in the future. It was a record-setting night. What more can you ask for the Angels? Unfortunately, we're in a situation where we're not in first place where we can enjoy it for like a week and kind of rest our laurels on it. You got to go out and somewhat forget about it tomorrow and pretend like it didn't happen, because I'm pretty sure the Rockies are going to be hungry. They just got their cheeks clapped and embarrassed in front of a sold-out crowd on a firework night at Coors Field. They're going to want some level of revenge, and we stuck the needle even further by ripping Mike Moustakas out from them. I'm pretty sure they're not feeling great right now. So I think biggest key for tomorrow's game, and I know the one and only James will have a terrific pregame show tomorrow. Just score early and often. Do not let Gomber get into a groove, and don't get behind the 8 ball. Get in there and do your business. Don't let the Rockies play with you. And same thing this upcoming week against the White Sox. Don't let the White Sox fool you. These are 5 games. You got to go 4 out of 5, and it's got to start 1-0 tomorrow.
Yep, got to get the job done. So with that being said, this has been another episode of the Halos in the Infield podcast and post-game show, really. If you guys haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the page, and it helps us out on the YouTube and the algorithm. You get live updates every time we're live. Dominique has gone live on here as well with Catella Chronicles. Ducks News is going to be coming soon here to the page as well. And then, he breaks in with some awesome Angel stuff. And if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, the Catella Chronicles podcast exclusive Ducks hockey with him and David, and then also he chimes in on the Halos in the Infield. We chime in on his show, so you get both a best of both worlds on the podcast form and here on YouTube. So we hope you guys can like and subscribe, and also give us a 5-star rating on the podcast side. So again, check out 714 Tickets, and also check out Noble Brewing. And mention Halos in the Infield, and you get $1 off of your beers. And also during games, you get 2-for-1 specials. So R. Martinez wants to be a guest. Private message me on Instagram. We might make that work with a fan roundtable, which we've done in the past too. So
yeah, we got a lot of things coming up here between the two sides, Halos in the Infield and Catella Chronicles. As I already mentioned, we got the tailgate coming up July 1st. I will be there. It's going to be a great time under the Big A. It just from start to finish, it's going to be great. And then, as we already kind of teased already, once the tailgate wraps up, the week of 4th of July, Todd and I are going to reveal the 2 games that we're going to be upcoming in the month of July for the live stream broadcast. We did it once in June. We picked up a 5-4 win against the Mariners. We're going to see if the luck can continue. It's going to be 2 rivalry games. Flip the calendar to July for a moment. See and think what games those could be. It's pretty obvious if you know Angels baseball enough. And but we'll get you those official days and times. It'll all be on the Heedy YouTube channel. So this is where you guys are going to want to be for some great content from Halos in the Infield, as well as Catella Chronicles. And you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Catella_CHRON.
There you go. So Dominic, thank you for being a guest on the post-game show with me tonight.
Fun times, baby. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And we will see you guys tomorrow.